All right, what's up with it, family? We're gonna make this another quick one real quick. So many topics are coming up so fast that, I kind of have to deal with some of these things kind of quick. I said I can't always wait and set up a whole video and do everything else. I said because things are just changing so fast and coming up so quick. Give people a couple of minutes here just to kind of get in before we start. We're gonna be talking about that statue. Okay, shalom, family. We're talking about that video. Well, white Jesus, the picture, the stone statue that's in the vast majority of these churches. All praises. Thank you. I'm glad you guys were enjoying the videos. God the Most High is waking up so many people, just like He said He would. Good times, Jesus, exactly. And that's what we're going to be just talking about real quick because, they're starting to try to cover their tracks. And that's all that this is. They're just trying to cover their tracks because they know the time has come. They know it's the end of their reign. I said they've had years to take down these statues, but they've decided to keep everything up. Keep everything, going status quo the entire time. And like I said, they know that their time is up. Just like on the back of that $20 bill when it's at 2020, and the lady with the face mask, was there. They know. I mean, all this information. I said it's all coming together, and it's all making a lot more sense. So they started taking down the obvious statues of the Confederacy and things like that. And now they're talking about taking down other ones, but then all of a sudden they started talking about Jesus. And it's funny because today Trump made his little speech, and he actually brought up Jesus Christ. And people wanted to take down the picture over the statue of Jesus Christ. And now he wasn't going to allow that, right? You guys all heard that, right? We all heard that. So, what are they sides? You got your white side, the Republican side, conservative side, and they also set up this Black Lives Matter side. See, even if you got into Black Lives Matter, you're still not going to get to the truth. You're not going to get to Hebrew Israelites. You're not going to get to the truth as far as the most following the ways of the Most High, following law, statutes, commandments of the Most High. You're not going to get that going through Black Lives Matter. But what they did set up was this guy named Shaun King, who I've never heard of before, who's supposedly, one of the leaders of Black Lives Matter, right? So now I was watching a guy talking about this on one of his YouTube videos last night. He was talking about the statue of Jesus, and they're attacking Jesus, but instead of actually talking about the Jesus statue, where it comes from, anything about that, what he did was attack Black Lives Matter. I said that's what so they set that whole thing up, not so they can talk about the statue, not so they can talk about the fact that it pushes white supremacy. They always love to say, well, we don't know what Jesus looks like. Yeah, you might not know what he looks like, but you always put that picture up. So they set up a guy from Black Lives Matter for him to be the face of taking down white Jesus. So now all of a sudden the Republicans and all the white people and everything else can all come together. And instead of talking about white Jesus, they're going to talk about Black Lives Matter and this Shaun King guy. Says we understand Satan's devices now. He's setting everything up, to be able to set up. He sets up the left-hand side and the right-hand side. Exactly. Spray them around and see if it matters. See if white people would have followed a black Jesus or a brown Jesus. Yeah, Queen. We're not going to break down the institutionalized racism. The Most High is going to come back and set everything up His way. And see, that's the whole thing. They're trying to make sure that everybody continues in this system, continues following everything in their system. Pass laws. That's what they're talking about doing. I said, I could care less if they take the statues down. You can't fix 400, 500 plus years of rape, rob, and murder by just making a gesture of taking down statues. Can't do that. So if they want to continue to keep their statues up, keep them up. You know, you've already destroyed everything. You know, I said the Jews, Gentiles that have been, you know, working together to keep our people at the bottom, you guys have already destroyed everything. You can't fix it now by tearing down statues and sweeping them under the rug and act like, oh, like the Most High won't see, you know, what's been going on. So if they want to take statues down, fine. If they don't. It doesn't matter. If you're still stuck on white Jesus and thinking that white Jesus is going to save you, I said, you're so far behind that, you know, I said, the only way you're going to get any kind of enlightenment is if the Most High has to quicken you. You know, I said, so yeah, if people want to actually start acknowledging the truth and everything else, I said, that's one thing, but you got to go all the way. You can't just knock down a couple of Confederate statues and not acknowledge the truth. You need to acknowledge our power, the Most High's power. The Most High, He is the power. He is above all powers, you know, in the universe. He's the one that has set up everything. And until you get to that point, it doesn't matter about all the other stuff. All the other gestures don't mean anything. So, like I said, they want to take down some statues, but as you can see, they're setting up both sides. So now they're not going to, instead of handling or dealing with white Jesus, they deal with Black Lives Matter, which is what they want in the first place. They don't want to deal with white Jesus because there's no proof that white Jesus, well, we already know white Jesus was brought over here when the Spaniards got here. White Jesus is not our power. White Jesus is not, you know, the God of the Hebrews. Okay, so all that stuff is all made up. See, they don't want to deal with that. They don't want to deal with having to prove that their white Jesus is true. They don't want to deal with that. So what do? Well, we don't want to deal with that. We don't want to have that conversation. So let's say that Black Lives Matter all of a sudden now wants to tear down these statues and it will just attack Black Lives Matter. Done deal. There we go. That's what they do behind the scenes. They don't want to have that conversation about, is white Jesus true? Well, as you can see in society right now, you can see how it's being destroyed and all these people are praying to white Jesus for everything to go back to normal. How's that working out? Is that true? Is white Jesus fulfilling their prayers? Absolutely not. And please go in the comment section and show me how white Jesus is working everything out for you guys. I would love to see how that's working out, because white Jesus has no power. So, but if you guys still believe, if some people here that are watching this video still believe in white Jesus, show us how that rapture is coming. See, it's funny because what you're hearing is this. What you guys are always hearing? Oh, well, ever since COVID showed up, there's no one's dying of heart attacks anymore. No one's dying of cancer anymore. That must mean that COVID-19, you know, all this stuff is all fake. Well, I could say the same thing about Christian religion. As soon as COVID-19 showed up, all of a sudden you're not hearing anything about Israel anymore. You're not hearing anything about war in the Middle East anymore. You're not hearing anything about war in Iran anymore. Where'd all that go? Haven't heard any of that lately. So see, but that's the whole thing. You can't pick and choose. A lot of things go out the door as soon as the Most High shows up and starts changing everything. But see, that's what everybody keeps on saying about the whole thing with COVID-19 being fake. Well, all of a sudden now people aren't dying in car accidents and people, just because they choose to, you know, concentrate on certain things Doesn't mean there's nothing else happening. But see, remember, everything for prophecy had to deal with Ish and the Middle East. So where's all the news now about Ish in the Middle East now? You're not hearing anything, right? Did all of a sudden, you know, prophecy just go out the window? Or is this the prophecy that was actually talked about in the Bible? The awakening of the Most High's chosen people in their lands. That's in there. The tearing down of society and all the lies. That's in there. All these other books coming out. That's in 2nd Ezra 14. Only, and I said, the first group of books that were given to the whole world, the worthy and the unworthy could read them. Is that in there? Yep, that's in there too. The Most High awakening up a few people to get into the other books and bring truth to the world. Is that in there? Yep, that's in there. See, that's what's actually in the Bible and the books that have been hidden. But all the other stuff about, the rapture, the so-called, and the so-called Middle East, all that stuff, that's not in there. That's not in there. So, like I said, there's a whole lot of people have a whole lot of explaining to do. So now all of a sudden they're talking about taking down these statues. That's all part of the truth coming out. People having given the Spirit, and they can see that their whole paradigm is a lie. The whole paradigm is a lie. So if they want to continue with good times Jesus, white Jesus for a little bit, let them go ahead and do it. We've been telling them forever that that white Jesus was fake. They know it's fake. They know it has no power. These people have been praying for everything to go back to normal. Has it gone back to normal yet? Nope. Is it anywhere going back to normal? Nope. So they can make up their two sides, and they can talk about one side wants white Jesus, while the people Shaun King, I don't know, like I said, don't know who that guy is, but all of a sudden now they're using him as the person that wants to take down the statues of white Jesus. Now watch on the news. All of a sudden now you're going to hear about Black Lives Matter wants to attack, fake Jesus, wants to tear down the statue. Watch how many people actually talk about white Jesus and if it's true. Watch how many of them actually talk about how, explain how white Jesus got here. Exactly, scapegoat, distraction. That's all that it is. And that's what these people have been doing the whole time. Scapegoating everything, not wanting to talk about the truth, not wanting to talk about what's going on. They don't want to talk about that. They don't want to talk about, what's been going on. They don't want to talk about how, it's the Most High's chosen people have the bringing out of the Book of Mormon and how that actually fits with the Bible and how that shows a lot of things that are going on over here. All that stuff is in scriptures. All that stuff is talking about all these different books, all these historical books that are going to be pretty much showing information about what's going on here at the end. Give them some more clarification. Why don't they go ahead and do a little, we've all brought up Caesarea Borgia to our family. We brought all that up to people many a time. Have they tried to actually explain it and how that's not true? No, they don't do that. What do? They just ignore it, just like they're doing right now. Okay? Just like they're doing right now. So all of a sudden they want to talk about the statue, but they don't really want to talk about the statue. So let's do this. Let's talk about Black Lives Matter. Let's talk about that organization and everything else, and let's not even get into the statue. I want you guys to take a look at all these people and say, hey, instead of talking about Black Lives Matter, talk about the statue. Let's talk about the statue. Let's talk about what's going on with the statue. Let's talk about where it originated from. He's a man of color. So where did the white dude come from? Where did the white dude come from? You know, I said the Catholics at that time were pushing baby Jesus and Mary. The Protestants were the one that didn't want to be affiliated with the Catholics, so they changed them to, you know, adult Jesus. So which Jesus are we talking about? Which doesn't matter if you do it yourself. Go ahead and do it. So do you want to clean up that mess yourself, or do you want the, you know, our Father to take care of that for you? Either way, he's going out. Either way, white Jesus is going out. Baby Jesus, adult Jesus, however you guys want to, you know, however you guys have made him up. I said he's going out. We don't got to lift our finger at all. Most High gonna take care of all that. So is it, like usual, it's another conversation you guys don't want to have. When we talk about who we are as far as the Most High's chosen people, exactly. Jesus is Zeus. That's your guys' God. So roll with him. I could care less if you guys take him down. Has come from, just like everything has been set up for white supremacy. So why is it that all of a sudden, you see, the Confederates were all set up for white supremacy, but the fake Jesus wasn't? The whole society's been set up for fake Jesus. We all know that already. Exactly, trying to scrub history. So if you're still stuck on fake Jesus, I said, hey, you know, that's you. Go do that. Enjoy that. That is going to, I don't know what it looks like to you, but that's what I'm seeing. More lives on some information when I can kind of jump on it and just kind of talk about it real quick. I already have some other videos already set up going forward in the nation right now to be able to bring this truth. Bring this truth out. Let's see here. So I got a bad connection, huh? Let me see. All right. Let's just finish it up here. All praises to the Most High, Yahweh. Acknowledgement to the earthly mother, who is wisdom, who is Holy Spirit. Acknowledgement to Yahweh Shai. Shalom.